Hello. This little video is just to demonstrate how to create your cut block using the principles found in Endipeg. Anyways, let me give you a little example. So let's say we have a little forest, and let me first get a color here so I can show you this. And if here's our imaginary little forest, and we're just going to, there we go, and I'm just breaking it out the area. So let's make this cedar, this one poplar, and this one red pine. So based on that, in this imaginary little forest, we're going to cut the entire area, cedar, poplar, and red pine, but we have to respect the fact that we have to leave areas called insular and peninsular within this area that's going to be cut to emulate or imitate nature after forest fire. So first of all, if I just jot down here what we have cedar, we have poplar, and we have red pine. And what I'd like to do is just show some hectares, and then the insular and peninsular. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to break that into these and make a little table. And this little table will represent, in this example, this area that's provided here. So let's say we have 30 hectares of cedar. The poplar represents 20 hectares, and the red pine a area of 40 hectares. Now I'm going to put a diagonal line in each one of these boxes just so that we can see the percentages. So for cedar, what you're required to leave as insular, and remember, insular are islands of areas within the cut block, it is 4%. Okay, and then the peninsular is represented by 16% of area we have to create, which will be like little areas that jut into the cut block. If you're wondering where I got these values, these come from right here from your handout, and you can see the conifer lowland 4% internal patches or insular, and peninsular is 16%. All right, so that's how we got those values. Now what we're going to do is proceed with the how do we do the calculation. So if I'm just going to switch colors so we can see the numbers better. So for 30 hectares, if 4% is insular, that 4.04 times 30, of course, represents 1.2 hectares. And then the 16% of the 30 hectares, that would represent, oops, I'm going to get out of there, is 4.8 hectares. All right? And so for poplar, I'll just do one more example here. You see for the poplar, it's 7% insular and 27%, quite a bit, so not very much burns, of peninsular. So when we, so that would represent 1.4 hectares of the 20 is insular, and the peninsular would be a area of 5.4 hectares. Now I'm not going to go on just for the sake of time, but so now what I want you guys to do is start designing some of this. So for the insular, for the cedar, what you may do is something where you take the insular of the cedar and combine it with the insular of the poplar. So for example, which would be a total of 2.6. So let's say it's there, and it's about the same amount. Let's say it's an area roughly there. So that would be like an island of which would combine both cedar and poplar. So here, so you can see it would be this area here would be the 1.2 hectares, and you would have to, in ArcMap, remember you're doing this all in ArcMap, you have to calculate that out and say, does it meet the requirements that you wanted, right, for the and then for the cedar, and then for the other side, you have to make sure that the area represents the 1.4 for the poplar. So that's one example. Now for the poplar, let's say there's 5.4. You could have, you know, something like this. That would be a proper. And then you would have to, in ArcMap, calculate the area of this using the measurement tool, and or because you may have only 4 hectares there, and then have just a small one there. Okay, and that could be the remaining 1.4 hectares. So that's how we like you to design this. So let's say here's one for the cedar. You could have. And you could have one that combines the red pine and the cedar as far as, right? So then you would have this side being accounted for the cedar, and then for the red pine, that would be this guy here. This is all done in ArcMap, but just to give you an idea of how you can do that. If, for an example, you have an area of concern, like let's say a nest, well then you encompass the nest within that area, and that way you do two things at once. You protect the AOC and meet the requirements of the Peninsular. So keep in mind you can do double duty for a lot of these. So what you will end up with is your block when you finish. The actual cut block then will be following. This will be the actual cut block when you finish, right? The perimeter of the cut block. And let's say here we had another one here, okay? So just so you get an idea, and that's what you're going to walk when you finish. So in ArcMap you will have a finished line which represents the perimeter of the harvest area, and then you will calculate what is the area left inside available for harvest. All right? So that's how you use the NDPEG guidelines to make proper forest cut blocks. Thank you.